environment that will level up your health. It's time to hear from the experts. Listen in on honest conversations and gain the best tips and advice. If you're ready to dive in and improve your well-being and increase your energy, you're in the right place. All right, here are your hosts, biobiologists, authors, media darlings, vicarious vegans, and avocado aficionados, Ron and Lisa Barris.
Friends, you've likely heard of fast food and probably even fast fashion. Think Forever 21, H&M, Charlotte Russe, and other stores with low prices, low quality, exploitive labor practices, and potentially harmful products. But you've likely never heard of fast furniture. Similar to food and fashion, the fast furniture trend has gained attention for its negative environmental and social impact. Disposable furniture offers affordable, on-trend home decor options. Yet, fast furniture is made quickly and cheaply with often toxic-laden materials. And since it typically lasts for just a short period of time, 1 to 3 years, that furniture ends up in the landfill.
According to experts, nearly 10 million tons of furniture piled up in landfills in 2018. While consumers are budget conscious when furnishing their home, many are not aware of the environmental and social impact. Yet purchases of fast furniture are unintentionally contributing to the problem. This throwaway mentality driven by culture and lifestyle is not sustainable.
No, and here to shed light is our guest, Kristen Toth, President and COO of Fernish. That's Fernish, a furniture and home decor rental service that's making it as effortless as possible to create a home that allows you the high quality, modern home furnishings you want without the commitment or upfront high costs. Kristen's career began at Zulily as Vice President of Operations, where she built and scaled operations through IPO. During her 8 years at Amazon.com, Kristen led several teams across the company, helping build Prime, launching same-day delivery. We can all give Kristen a big thank you for that one. Managing the movies and television category and launching Amazon's digital music cloud-based offerings.
Kristen holds a BSc and an MSc in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research from the University of Michigan, a SM in Civil and Environmental Engineering from MIT, and an MBA from MIT. She is the board chair of the University of Michigan Center for Entrepreneurship. Kristen lives on Lake Sammamish, just outside of Seattle, where she often can be found paddleboarding with her pup, Maisie, or wake surfing. Welcome to the show, Kristen. Is Maisie with you?
You know what? She's not in here right now, but she may come visit me because she loves to do that when she hears starting to talk or get excited. So,
oh, we might get a cameo for Maisie. Yay, we need to meet Maisie before this episode's over.
Or maybe even a bark, right? Little bark in the background. Okay, we'll see.
She's pretty quiet. She's actually pretty good at staying quiet. I don't know how I got so lucky, but she's great.
Well, welcome to the show, Kristen and Maisie. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And what a great intro that just hits on so many of the things that we think about every single day. So glad and excited to chat with you all.
Oh, likewise. And this has been a topic that I'm passionate about. Ron and I have wanted to cover for a while, actually. And this is the first time we're talking about furniture in general. So it's really something every single person listening can relate to. We've all gone to IKEA and these kind of places and bought this fast furniture, and only to find out that it's falling apart in a year or two, and that chipping of that laminate is coming off and you're down to just junky looking furniture. So I want to dive right in. Can you tell our listeners more about the circular economy and how Fernish is partaking in it?
Yeah, for sure. Circular economy is kind of what is becoming a buzzword today, but we were sort of built on this idea of we're not selling things and then trying to forget about them. We're thinking about them through their entire life cycle. And what we do is we make it effortless to create your home, which is not just your space, not just the things in the space, but how you feel when you're there. And as you know, you want new things. Your life changes, the people you're living with change, where you're living changes, how you're living that space changes. And when you buy furniture, it's sort of heavy and it's static. So it's hard to like have that emotional sort of tied to the present moment when the stuff around you isn't sort of evolving with your life. So we came up with this great model that allows customers to rent, rent to own, or purchase furniture that they love that will fit with their lifestyle and evolve with them over time. So we think about buying furniture, renting it out, going and picking it up when that customer is done, bringing it back, cleaning it, refurbishing it, and then sending it out to the next customer who's going to love it for however long they love it. And then
Okay,
they
Kristen,
bring it back and we do it again.
Yeah.
quick
Amazing.
trick question. Okay, so if we were to rent furniture from your organization, right? We have 2 floors here. So you're going to come in and you're going to take our furniture from the 3rd floor?
They don't take it out. They just bring you new furniture.
Well, we'll bring you, but when you're done with that on the 3rd floor, we'll go and get it and bring it back. And we have some incredible delivery teams who have navigated every tricky apartment that there is. When we opened up in New York City, we knew we were kind of raising the bar and we were sort of like in the big leagues there. And there was this 27-inch doorway at the end of this like really strange triangle end of a hall, and how they got a sofa through that door, it was nothing short of magic. But yes, we do all
the furniture delivery people. They deserve a big shout out. 100%. I think the same thing sometimes. How do they get the washer and dryer in that door? How do they, it's like
100%. Yeah. And so we just want to make it effortless. So that means that we will bring everything, put it all together, put it where you want it. And then when you're done, we come and pick it up. Or if you're moving across town, we'll move your furnished stuff for you. If you're moving from LA to New York, we'll magically make your things show up in New York. We don't really move them.
Wow. Okay. That's great.
Wonderful.
Wow. Wonderful.
So I read on your website, so you have 3 options. You can rent the furniture, you could rent to own the furniture, or you can decide that you fell in love with it and you want to buy it.
Yes.
Right. And so
absolutely. And they're all the same price. So that idea of rental is bad math or a bad financial decision, we're trying to take that completely off the table. If you rent something generally for 24 months, let's just say you sign up for 12 months today, you renew. In 24 months, generally you could just choose to take all of the payments that you have made, apply it to the buyout price of that item, and you'll own it for about 24 months. Or you can decide, I don't really want to own this thing. I want to swap it out after 12 months. No problem. We'll let you do that again, but you only then pay for, that portion of the thing for the time that it's serving you. So the idea is really to make it a good math decision with a lot of service around that for you to do exactly what you want or need to do. Rent to own, where you don't have to decide up front. You can decide down the line, or buy out up front if that's really what you want. Everything's the same price.
Okay, Kristen, I have taxes on my mind, right? So it's tax season right now. We're recording this on February 23rd, right?
Yeah.
February to this middle of tax season. Many of us know that have businesses that if you lease a car, so leasing's like renting, right? You can actually write off part of that lease if you use it for business purposes and so forth. Do you know, I'm putting you on the spot here, one of the things I was going to ask you originally, but I just have it on my mind. Can you actually write off business furniture if you lease it? Does that make sense?
I will tell you that with all that education, I did not get any kind of tax degree. And I would say, please talk to your accountant before you make any of those decisions.
It's home furniture, so I wouldn't think so.
Well, no, for offices too, you have couches, desks, and things too. So I was thinking of another situation. Particularly, many people have even businesses in their home. You have people who are
everybody's
doctor practices that are part of their side of their house. So there's much more to this. And see, I've just expanded your business, Kristen.
That's right. I love it. I love it. But I'm not giving tax advice today. So
I know you're not giving. I'm sorry, and I should have never asked that question.
And the thing, and I don't know if we even said this, because obviously your furniture is, the pink elephant in the room here is that you're actually renting to own or purchasing quality furniture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When we started this business, one of the things that we knew was going to be really key to making it a business that could be not just environmentally sustainable, but like financially sustainable, was that we were going to be needing to use this furniture for many customers. And that means that we have to think about this longevity or the durability of our furniture in 4 different ways. The first one really is what you would think, durability. So what are the materials that it's made with? And are they high quality? Will they stand up to the test of time and all of the things, the cleaning and the refurbishment that we do? The second thing is style, right? We want it to be loved and wanted for a long period of time. So generally, we don't have the super flash in the pan, fast furniture, trendy thing.
Right.
So, the style has to like last for 7, 12 years.
Yeah. Classic looks, those pieces that you invest in and that you're going to have forever because, I know the serial designers and all of us who, as soon as you get your house up to date with what's trending, boom, now that's out, oh, great. I just heard, gray and white is so popular in kitchens, right? But it's like, oh, no more gray. Okay, we're leaving gray pretty soon. Now that everybody's got gorgeous gray kitchens and invested in this marble.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
So being able to say, I've just updated my house and that couch is not working anymore. Boom, I can trade that in and get a new one. Or I can, get a new dining room table. I think that's really fun too. If you're a person that likes to change your decor a lot, this is a really great option for you.
Totally. And then I'll just quickly say the other two. The other two are refurbishability. So the materials that things are made out of, you were talking about a laminate coming off of a piece of furniture. We don't do a lot of veneers and laminates because if those things do start to come off or they're peeling or they get scratched or whatever it is, there's not really a good way to sand that down and make it look like new again. So that doesn't really work for us. So we have to use woods that are durable, but also refurbishable, and then modularity. So let's just say that one cushion is not holding up or had a spill on it. If we can replace just that cushion and not the entire thing and make it like new again, that really helps us keep these things sort of out of the landfill, but also in circulation for us. So we really think about what the product is that we would put into our catalog a great deal so that we can make sure that we are doing our part from a sustainability perspective, but also so that our business can sort of make sense over time as well.
Yeah. And that, just for listeners who might be new tuning in, that laminate furniture typically contains formaldehyde, which is a carcinogen. The particle board, the MDF, the cheap wood that you see under a laminate is usually held together with resins that contain formaldehyde. So this concept is not just good for the planet. It's really good for your health to not be having exposure to those really toxic chemicals.
Kristen, our listeners, I guess they want to know from you, your definition, what is fast furniture and how can it be damaging to the environment? We teased this earlier.
Yeah, totally. You did a great job too. So what can I add? Well, fast furniture really is kind of what you were saying. We started talking about fast fashion years ago, right? Where it was very much built, created, placed in stores for this kind of flash in a pan. So quickly made, cheaply made, not with longevity in mind, but there for this trend, sort of flash in the pan and then to kind of go away. So the same thing kind of has happened with furniture, where if you think of furniture as disposable, you don't want to pay a lot of money for it. And so therefore that demand is sort of met by suppliers and retailers who are going to sell furniture that's not made for the long haul because people are not willing to or wanting to pay for that. So we're trying to take that anti-fast furniture stance, which is let's find the things that are going to be built to last on all those different levels that we just talked about and really be there for the long haul, even if the long haul with you is a different amount of time than, what we would think of on a sort of macro scale, because we can then find different homes for the same piece throughout its life cycle. So we're sort of anti-fast furniture, and it's detrimental, not just because, like Lisa just said, the materials that are used, the supplies that are used, those things can be not just terrible for your health, but because they don't stand up to the test of time, they end up not being able to have a very long life cycle, and therefore they end up in landfills. And all of that work that went into sort of building them just kind of goes to waste. And obviously, like you said earlier, Ron, it's like there's about 10 million tons of furniture that ends up in U.S. landfills.
10 million. That's like, I know Ron breezed over that, but 10 million tons.
Yeah.
And that was in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay. We're in 2023 and we know that number's higher. That is just nutty. Well, Kristen, with today's consumers moving more and more often and settling down later in life, can you tell us more about Furnish's sustainable efforts and some of the statistics of the sustainable measures that Fernish has taken?
Yeah, I would say, you're right. I do think that all of us think of our lives as evolving for longer and longer. And so that might mean that you're moving around more often. That might mean that you have a little bit less uncertainty where you'll be in 8 months or a year. And Furnish is such a great model for a customer who just doesn't really know exactly what they're going to be doing in sort of like the long term. We find a lot of people that think of us for the long term as well, because they like the idea of that ease of sort of moving things out or not having to make the decision up front or do a really big investment of dollars up front.
Yeah.
For us, because we've really been focused on the longevity of our furniture, the big thing that we like to look at every single year and hold ourselves accountable to is how many tons of furniture have we been able to keep out of the landfill. And we just did our 2022 impact report. And one of the things we really love is that we were able to save 522 tons just ourselves of furniture from ending up in a landfill. And that's really
Holy
just
smokes.
from selecting the right stuff and making sure that we're reusing it and reusing it. And even when we get to the end of life of something, so let's just say it doesn't hit our bar for that like new condition, we have a couple of different ways that we really think about ensuring that things still don't go into a landfill. They get to a home that they love, either by being sold through like a used furniture marketplace. We have a couple partners we work with there, or by going through some of our donation partners and our charity partners that we are really excited about. And so just making sure that we're thinking about that whole life cycle, even beyond when we have it, of that furniture. So that's been our sort of big focus on the contribution, our kind of contribution to the planet.
Yeah, that's incredible. Kudos to you guys. I was thinking of newlyweds. This is such a great idea for newlyweds because you kind of are coming together and you really don't know your long-term style at that point. At least we didn't, right, Ron? We were just kind of buying whatever when we first got married and furnished our house. And, that all ended up changing. And so it's a good idea to just go this route to see what you really want, and together decide, are you going to buy the pieces that you were renting, or are you going to keep a mix or go for new? But I just newlyweds pops in. I think it's such a great idea.
100%.
Yeah. You're on a budget too when you're newlyweds, and usually. And so that's great. Usually.
Kristen, how are you giving so many pieces of furniture 2, 3, 4, even more lives than what they normally would have? How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is just about thinking about that long term, like I said, selecting the right stuff. But then we have to have really great processes that are in our warehouses. We actually hire our own delivery teams to make sure that we're taking really great care of the furniture as we're putting it into somebody's house or taking it back out, and just interacting with customers, obviously, too. And then we also have a whole operation where we bring something back into our warehouses. We do a quarantine to make sure that everything is safe from like a bed bug perspective, for instance. And like the fun fact there is, I didn't know this before starting at Fernish, but the way that we detect for bed bugs is that we have a trained dog who comes and smells. They can smell them. So we get to have dogs.
Wait, is that dog Maisie? Is that Maisie?
Is that dog Maisie?
Maisie hasn't been trained to do this, but I was like, okay, well, you might have a new job. Like we might need to get to work on that.
Exactly. Forget service dogs. You need to be a bed bug dog.
That's right.
That's really cool. I've never heard of that.
So we keep it in a quarantine until it's cleared by the dog, and then it goes through a rigorous cleaning process. And then if there are more things that need to go through and be more touched up or repaired, that goes to a refurb team. And that whole team is in our warehouses. They know our furniture super well, and they've been able to sort of build out a best-in process for keeping these pieces in circulation for 3, 4, 5, hopefully 10 plus different customers over time without anybody being able to tell that they aren't getting brand new furniture.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, besides the sustainable efforts, what are some other reasons for people to use the service?
The big thing is that flexibility and convenience. So, furniture rental actually has been around for a while. It hasn't really been thought of as a consumer-oriented business, though.
Right.
And so because of that, I don't think that most of the furniture that's out there meets the style bar for what you and I would want. But on top of that, it doesn't necessarily have the same kind of service that we're expecting from, our Amazon Prime experiences and sort of all of the kind of modern retail experiences that we're used to having. So we really wanted to make high bar of service, incredibly convenient, You don't have to do any of the lifting, any of the assembly, any of the moving around, whether it's going in or coming out of your place. And then we give you all of the flexibility to be able to decide what you want to do about your furniture and easily swap things out, easily add or subtract as your life sort of changes, as you learn what you need, as you get new needs along the way. And so we just really wanted to have that flexibility and convenience. And that's what is really resonating with customers. And then when you add to it that you're just sort of paying on a monthly basis, you don't have to go and open up your wallet or take out a loan so that you can buy a piece of furniture.
Amazing. Right.
That's sort of like the cherry on the top.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of interior designers, say, that might do that for staging a home, or is there a minimum to how long you could rent a piece?
It's a really good question. We offer free delivery and pickup. And so in order to make sure that we can pay for all of that, we do have a minimum term of 4 months. So we don't get too much involved in the sort of real estate short-term staging.
Yeah.
It's really more for the consumers who are going to maybe be in an internship or a little bit longer.
Right.
If it is a much more temporary situation. But we do have a team of sales folks who will work with businesses who have unique needs. And we always try to find a way to say yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, not to put you on the spot, but if you were to rent to buy, is it typically 3-4 years rent to buy, or what are the parameters around that if someone is interested in doing that?
Yeah, it's usually about 2 years. The monthly amount that you pay on any particular piece changes a little bit depending upon how long you think you're going to have it. So if you sign up for 4 months, the monthly payments are a little bit higher versus if you sign up for 12 months. But if you sign up for 12 months or you sign up for 24 months, that's sort of our best rate per month. And after about 24 months, you could tell us, hey, I would like to go ahead and purchase this. And we just go and double check that all the sales tax is correct and that you've paid everything. But at that point, give or take 24, 25 months, you can own anything that you've been paying for that time.
Wow, that's excellent.
And for listeners that are like, oh my God, I want to do this now, what cities and states do you service at this time?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll start where I'm at. We do the greater Seattle area. And then we're a big chunk of Southern California down by y'all.
Woohoo!
Kind of southern venture all the way down to the border along that West Coast.
That's where we are. Yeah, that's where we are.
And then Dallas, Worth area, Austin area, and then New York City and New Jersey, as well as the greater Washington, D.C. area.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you're really expanding. Is it like, did you start with one city and you've been growing?
Yeah, we did. We started in LA and we just got bigger and bigger and bigger. We started getting into Orange County and then we got down to San Diego. And we also opened Seattle just as we were sort of in our early days of the business to learn what it was like to operate somewhere else as well. And just learn the differences between Southern California and Seattle from a taste perspective, from a customer behavior perspective.
Different types of furniture for different regions, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Florida, you're going to be all light. Yeah. If you get.
Yeah. It's funny though, how there are these small differences, largely due to the kind of size of the apartments that you find in the different places. So Dallas apartments are a little bit bigger than New York apartments.
Oh yeah.
Not surprisingly.
Everything's bigger in Texas, Chris.
And not that we don't do we have this really beautiful storage bed that is on hydraulics and you sort of lift it up and it's so beautiful and you can put a whole bunch of things underneath your mattress. And that's really popular. And we still do some business with that in other markets, but it's so great.
So important in New York, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
What did I hear? The average home apartment in New York is like 400 square feet. Is that pretty accurate?
Something like that.
Oh my God, it's so crazy.
Tiny.
You would need every inch when you're dealing with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We offer all of the same things across our different markets. We just see different demand across those items for sure.
I can see that. Yeah.
Well, this is so exciting. Well, Kristen, can you also tell us more about your partnership with Holos Communities and how it's adding an extra layer of sustainability as well as social impact efforts?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things we did last year was we pledged on Giving Tuesday to do some extra donations. So we're always doing donations. In fact, even with our company awards, we have an award where the sort of prize is that the winner of the award gets to say where we're giving that month's donation to.
That's great.
Really fun.
Yeah.
But Holos are sort of Giving Tuesday pledge, and we did some really beautiful common area for a couple of their facilities with some of the stuff that, for whatever reason, we were not sort of going to send back out to customers. And sometimes we just decide like we're going to make some changes in the assortment that we're offering. And so it's all really beautiful furniture, still in amazing shape, but we were able to donate it when it wasn't sort of right for our catalog anymore. And we just have committed to being a part of this Project Amanita in Southern California. And I guess you all are in the area, so you might have heard about this, but it's apparently repurposing a hotel to try to help people who are struggling with housing security. And so there's 75 studio units and then offices for the support services and ADA upgrades that they're doing. It's Governor Newsom has given some or announced just recently funding to help out with it. And so we're going to be a great part of that. And we're super excited to partner with them again. We were just going through some of the furniture that we had that we think would be really great for these projects. So
fantastic. Great job.
I just love it when we're able to take these pieces that for whatever reason, they've slowed down in demand, so we don't need as many of them anymore. Or, there's a scratch on the back that we don't want to send to another person, but it's still a great piece of furniture. And then again, just that idea of keeping things out of landfills and finding the right home for them for years.
Absolutely. It's that cradle to cradle, right? That cradle to cradle life cycle from start to finish that, we're not disposing of anything. I kind of live that way no matter what it is. Like when I'm cleaning up my closet or, cleaning up, nothing gets thrown away, right, Ron? I mean, I am either selling, I'll sometimes sell my clothes online or always donate. We've got the VA truck that comes, we go to the Goodwill drop off. I mean, or just give to people or just leave outside with the free sign or whatever. Like I'm just a big believer that you might not want it, but there's always somebody that will and somebody that will appreciate it. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right?
Yeah, amazing. Totally. 100%.
100%. Well, this is so awesome. Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with before we wrap up?
I mean, I can't think of anything else. We've covered so much. It's been so fun to talk about what we're doing and get to talk a little bit more about the sustainability aspect of how we think about things. I would just say that so many times you talk about a sustainable business and people will say, oh, well, clearly that's going to be more expensive or it's going to be less convenient.
Yeah.
Or it's just not going to be a great business. You can't make money off of that. And I think what is very rare and that we get the pleasure of thinking about every single day is this is a great win for our customers because the service is so amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great win for the environment because we can really keep things out of landfills and give them much longer life. And then it's also something that we can really build into a real business. So we're not really sacrificing, everything's sort of pushing in the same direction. And we don't get to see very many of those. And so it's just a pleasure to be a part of it. And it's not easy, but it's certainly a lot of fun. And it's very, very rewarding to work with this team on this mission and satisfy customers and the environment for sure.
Oh, well, they're lucky to have you. Your background is so impressive. And is your goal to be nationwide then? Is that the long-term goal?
Absolutely. We want to get and bring Fernish to everybody. And we want to do that responsibly and ensure that we can keep our high service and not overextend ourselves. But certainly we want to bring Fernish everywhere to everyone. And hopefully it won't just be nationwide. One day we'll also be talking about other countries and things like that.
Ooh,
it's really exciting.
Nice.
So many things to do.
So many. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. Well, Kristen, thank you for being with us. And remember, friends, no one can do everything, but everyone can do something. Max Lucado. You can learn more about Fernish at Fernish, and that's FERNISH.com.
We'll have all the links in the show notes at ronalisi.com/podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode and get ready to up-level your health. See you then. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Kristen.
This episode of the Healthy Home Hacks podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more healthy living strategies and tactics to help you create the healthy home you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.